Dispatch, the famed superhero game that has taken the world by storm and has most importantly had everybody in a frenzy about its protagonist, Robert Robertson III, aka Mecha Man. A man with so much heart, tenacity, foolish sense of will, got that dog in him, played by the GOAT Aaron Paul, and a man that has showed so much inspiration in a very simplistic but stellar form of writing, reformed entirely, rebirthed the entire band of miscreants in the Z-Team, showcased people that literally had nothing in the dark, that there's still some sense of light, and showed how to truly be Mecha again. But could he stand against Jack Cooper, the famed rifleman turned grunt to legendary militia, elite pilot and titan, shown to be a one-man army, shown to be adaptable, resourceful, out of this world when it comes down to being a freaking shooter protagonist, is one of the most remarkably underrated and most importantly praised and loved protagonists of not only shooters in gaming in general, but all of fiction. And it's showcased with his famed buddy Bravo Tango BT-7274 that he is worthy of the title of being a pilot of an elite Vanguard class Titan in BT, living up to the legacy of his comrade fallen in battle, and a literal body of multiple odds in his own verse. These are both people living up to legacies. These are both people that are skilled within a mech, skilled in all different adversity, skilled in all different ways to dog their way through a fight, and people who do not in any sense of the way give up. They are both truly titans of men. With this being said, this is a request battle by the case of one of my friends. Shout out to him. If you'd like me to go and do more battles like this, with this being said, you know what to do. If you're new here, please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I make a video. And with that being said, I hope you guys will enjoy. A few things I need to go and make clear within this case of versus battle. I'm not only going to be using the case of the better, stronger versions of both of these characters, considering a lot of things. This video is going to be a great long overview and all-around untangle of a few things. To simply put, I'm going to be using the case of the end of BT-7274, aka his fight after Sloan in Titanfall, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. And I'm going to be using Mecha Man V2 of the case of obviously Dispatch. With that being said, it's been very much lovely researching about both of these characters and playing their stories again. I'm always thrilled to go and peek both of these global protagonists, and I hope you guys will enjoy the video at hand. With all that being said, let's go and get into it.
Of all the things I've seen on the battlefields of the frontier, the pilot is the true dominant force. Fast and agile, graceful yet devastating, perceptive, resourceful, and relentless. A pilot sees the world differently. Sheer walls become flanking routes. Pilots fight differently. Experienced in deception and maneuver, even overwhelming odds shift in their favor. But what truly separates the pilot from all the grunts and machines of the battlefield is the bond between a pilot and a titan. When linked to a Titan, a pilot can only be stopped by overwhelming force, or an equal. The frontier has been the only home I've ever known. For years, our lands have been destroyed by the IMC, forcefully taking our resources, polluting and destroying our planets, and killing us off if we try to resist. Despite recent victories at Demeter and beyond, we have a long way to go before the IMC is defeated. Now, I serve as a rifleman in the militia, fighting to free the frontier. I'm a long way from becoming a pilot. But when that day comes, I hope I can live up to the honor.
Jack Cooper, rifleman turned great militia pilot. Him and BT are people who should have never, ever been put together. But them being put together was not a curse, it was a blessing in hiding. This man Jack Cooper is the common man, common soldier, a common grunt, training his rifle skills, training decent hand-to-hand combat, and using the intro as any form of cannon, shown eventually when he would be put in the standing as being a newly acquitted pilot of any possible doubt, fully coming to his name of being a truly elite, legendary class pilot, as he, again, was a common rifleman. But when his mentor, La Somoza, was put out of commission in the case of a big fight and was pretty much left for dead, he assigned this man the new neural link of being assigned to Bravo Tango, aka BT-7274, elite Vanguard class Titan that not only is a veteran of not only combat, but was rocking with this man La Somoza for not years' time, but very much a long-lasting time. But when he was with this man Jack, he showcased combat proficiency and skills never seen in a Titan and pilot seen before, making these people be the ultimate tied duo that could stand against any odd coming their way with no sense of not only phase on their face. This man Jack not only being super trained, not only all different forms of shot, adapting to any form of weaponry shown in not only Titanfall 1, 2, and Apex Legends, respected by multiple people, and their pair is so respected in the fact that this man Jack, aka Coop, is able to rock with multiple different famed peers of his and stand still 10 toes, pound for pound, bang for bang, in multiple odds, makes him not only be a way more revered soldier and a very much way more handsy, hand for hand, skill for skill, ball for ball, acquitted, famed individual. When it comes down to his actual power scale and different descriptions of actual showcasings, he would all around be most of the time be very much on the greater wall level standing, to in the case for when he's able to pretty much outbox people, body people, run through walls, do different things to the human body like cracking skulls, busting open faces, breaking open skeletons by different cases of not only HUD AI in different description and different blows that are entangled with the case of how it looks in different radar look and senses, showcase that this man Jack Cooper has hands for days and is easily peak human, right, or even for his verse would be considered superhuman, does things like no other. His speed and different proficiencies when it comes down to his jetpack, jet boosting feet, and able to move around, easily has him stylistically being in the subsonic, aka faster than most different human reaction speed, aka the eye can see, to easily in the case for his bullet timing, not only in the case of that intro, different showcasings in mixed game, and reaction speed and different great timing and different jump and or throws by BT, and even being able to react at some different occasions and perception to others should get him bare minimum in the supersonic, aka greater bullet timing range, being supersonic plus with different additional, speed and movement. With that being said, and this is all within his base, as he again is very much respected by multiple people, especially Bliss, who thought he was so good not only as a militia class pilot, but with BT, that he could be an Apex Predator, either mercenary or be one of the Apex Legends people. Well, Bliss says he's so good that not only he wiped out his entire crew, that he would probably make every person in the Apex Legends not only cast and most different people he's seen, which is pretty much everybody that is greater known within a great deal of the Titanfall/Apex Legends universe, look obsolete. As well, with the fact that he's one of the greatest of the militia group, shown and said in statements said by actors, said by the case of the devs, this would make him, in the case of basically the conflict that's pretty much the Republic versus the Empire, like in Star Wars, between the militia, the rebellion/resistance group, against the case of the IMC, the Scourgers, the pillagers of resources, wiper of planets, the bad guys, simple shit, be one of the most top tier. When it comes down to Big Dog BT, aka B-Dote, BT is easily, because of his veterinary stance and pretty much being top tier commissioned Vanguard tank and pillar of not only warfare on the battlefield, be stronger than most General Titans, and unless it's mercenaries or any boss fighter people of high renown, in the case of the militia and IMC, he is stronger than most verbatim Titans and is easily one of, if not, could be arguably the strongest Titan in the verse in most commonary sentiment, as he is easily, in the case for different AP and different grounds for that, over multiple wall levels, over any common soldier, is able to push past any people that try to use anti-Titan gear. They easily gets into, you know what I'm saying, with different weaponry and equipment, very high end standing, you know, within wall level, or even if you want to stretch in specific halts and holds like batteries, energy core, and different, you know, generators for Titans, pretty much in that, you know, bare minimum small building level. BT is easy a guy, you know what I'm saying, to say is a small building plus individual with all his weaponry, rockets, folds, how much, you know, energy and heat he produces from the case of fire, different explosions, all different type of different full-fledged halts and holes of that capacity, pretty much making a dent in devastation with any person that comes his way, as well with the fact that easily with all this build up of different shit, he can, with his ults, aka shit that this man BT can change from any time, as he can utilize any ult shown within not only the game campaign, but possibly it being an elite class Titan. You could say shit that's shown in gameplay, even though by all different count and recollection, pretty much everything in the campaign is like the bare minimum of what any Titan could do. He easily can be more confident in that building level, like standing as he fights people as well. They can utilize these ults, throw multi-rockets at him, contend with it with his hacks and versatility, and could be a lot more greater impression building level if you want to say that he's a lot more higher in his case of destructive view and capacity, as bare minimum most different Titans explosion should be like a small building to low end case of destructive view, but with him, because of his class and every standard that he is, and the type of people that he's over from ults and different equipment, he should be at those levels, as again from rockets, different high key explosions, electricity, different distribution of high caliber blade level capacity with the Ronins, and different fire, and you know, just his way of executing people and the things he does to different Titans. He should be easily in almost every accounting way beyond most comprehension when we talk about building plus level standing all around. As again, his explosions and everything that makes him what he is, especially when he would explode, would get him very confident to that level. BT as well, in the case of his, you know, weaponry, is very versatile, as everything I said is different hacks and equipment that can get him very confidently to that level, and his different actions can prove that. But you know, the man can hover, the man has turrets, the man has different force fields, he has a mixed bag of different perception, electromagnetism, even technological telekinesis, and arguably not in the same way like Viper, but even though there is a lot of different, you know, cinematics and different impression in gameplay, you can somewhat fly, hover, or stay in the air and pretty much falcon your way around the battlefield. He's able to halt through people, teleport, super speed, is able to use his HUD AI, has multiple weapons that shoot out rockets, great volley of bombs, has blunder-like bust type of capacity, has laser literal implanted in him or different parts of his body that allows him to scan and be beyond the comprehension of most different fields of combat and buck with people way beyond comprehension. He as well, because of having a laser, it can actually react decently in contingent speed against a laser when fighting Sloan, as you see on gameplay, right? This man, not only because of using it and or reacting decently, some different square usage of it, and is able to deflect it or do some type of way of maneuvering around it in gameplay usage, does have the credibility to even know maybe mixed bag, mainly in his case of attack speed, right, when using the weapons, be on the sub-relativistic to being a more confident, consistent mixed take laser of some mixed argument, has an argument to be in the greater sub-relativistic speeds of possible reaction speed, right? And reacting to a photon core laser in Sloan or anyone else to be in fact, this would very much get him to easily, you know, that same speed consistently. There's also the fact that, you know, Cooper can use an L-Star, which is confirmed to be a literal laser by its description, said by Apex Legends. Apex Legends characters utilize lasers, react to lasers. Characters only have stuff that would be needing to mix bag scale to somewhat the speed of light to mix bag scale to. Wraith also has a lot of different showcasings that you could get to the speed of light, so this would make someone like BT very confidently in his own more, you know, not only heavier speed capabilities than someone like Sloan, be easily getting him into, again, the low end, you know, from what his already should be confident speed is, which would be easily, you know, the subsonic plus to supersonic, easily like hypersonic with the rockets, to sub-relativistic to even, you know, greater in, you know, the midpoint of like relativistic to the speed of light. And, you know, someone like Cooper with his L-Star and different weapons should easily be, with, again, this all being an attack, you know, weaponry speed on him in comparison, even though you can mix back react to this, even though most people with the L-Star get pretty much fucking vaporized and you mix bag are always getting tagged by it. Cooper would be more consistently in that supersonic mixed bag range. He's not actually that fast, but BT, because he's way more faster and is scaling to Sloan and others, he should bare minimum get to that speed, and most of an elite Vanguard place of, like, you know, Titans should get to that speed as well. But how does Mecha Man III, aka Robert Robertson, the GOAT, handle all of this?
Most people will look around this room and see a bunch of villains. Not even the super kind, just plain ass, run-of-the-mill, vanilla fucking villains. But that's not what I see. Because lucky for you, I'm not most people. When I look around this room, what I see is potential.
Got there in the end.
Unfortunately for you, it's a curse. Because there isn't a thing in the universe that goes more wasted than potential. And despite how common it is, no one seems to forget. It's what they whisper when you leave the room. Oh, so-and-so had so much potential. It follows you forever. I'm here to help you lift the curse of potential by getting you to fucking do something with it. You're all part of the Phoenix program. Any of you know what a Phoenix is?
Ooh, city in Arizona.
Yeah, the sweltering ballsack of America.
Nah, if Florida's the dick, then Louisiana's gotta be the ball sack. Just, you know, position.
The Phoenix,
Sorry.
according to legend, is a beautiful bird of prey that was so tired of its immortality, it tricked the sun god into dropping a spark on its nest to set it ablaze, burning it to shit. But instead of dying, the Phoenix emerged from ash, reborn. All of you in this room are Phoenixes, and it's obvious what that means. But for you dumb ones, I'll spell it out. The Phoenix symbolizes redemption. It's what you're here for. It's what connects everyone in this room to burn up who you were, to become who you were meant to be.
Phoenix is also a lame-ass band my lame-ass roommate listens to.
You're late.
I like that band.
You would. What are you talking about? I was here the whole time. I turned invisible, genius, remember?
Robert Robertson III, son of Mecha Man Astral Prime and grandson of the Mecha Man, third wielder and or upholder of the Mecha Man legacy, and as well, namesake being Robert III, or junior to Robert II, and again grandson to Robert I. He stands as in truth a pillar of heroes in his verse, being the technical pseudo-leader of Z-Team, lover to Blonde Blaze of Visigour, both arch nemesis of Shroud, the man that killed his father, again Astral Prime Mecha Man, or Robert II, and technical, I guess you could say, loving case of nephew to the famed track star, and has been one of the most reformed, loved, and brilliantly written in simplistic form protagonists shown within new sort of like not only superhero rebirth in the case of media, but as well in superhero media in general. As Dispatch is taking the world by storm, it is an easy argument for being mixed bag to be argument for Game of the Year. But besides all that, when it comes down to the famed Robert Robertson, played by the GOAT Aaron Paul, how powerful would it be? For a case of his base, aka in his suit, he would be easily peak human, showcasing to be multiple times not to be some slouch, not to be a normal guy, not to be anybody to be pilled around with. He is easily beyond most different form of argument for humans' comprehension and speed, reaction, and skill, all that stuff, as he seems to be not truly a great expertise practitioner martial artist, but to be easily somebody with some level of fighting knack, skill, drive, and undeniably so a heart of gold, where no case of fear in his heart, and if anything has a soul of stone when it comes down to duking it out, as he has shown reaction speed not only of the greatest comprehension, but as well mixed bag to bullets and different firearms of different great automatic sense. Granted, baseline within the world, it seems there's a possibility that reacting to lightning, which can even be on different like mixed gauge of different speed to the speed of light, but bare minimum is massively hypersonic to be shown, as a Visigout even though is a superpower to the visual, and is easily, in the case of her base greater stats, to be a greater argument of peak human herself, can react to lightning, and that should be the baseline default marker for a lot of the greater M people of all dispatches. That seems to be consistent with multiple people, be it flight, reaction speed, capabilities, or even attacks. But there is also an argument to say that the case of the actual bare minimum, because Robert as a person with no superpowers and being again peak human is able to react to a laser mixed bag or some form of light being dispatched to him, no pun intended, when he was fighting the case of the Yakuza Dragon member of the Red Ring in the bar, and reflected his laser off with a metal plate or mirror when the mix of engaging in a combat situation with him. And this would be easily of the low sub-relativistic being in true exactly on the 5 to 6% speed of light, and higher tiers can maybe greater in stretch into the case of the speed of light like Phenomenon, but someone like Robert at default being able to do this would mean that everybody else would easily be bare minimum this or even greater into it, because of the fact that they are superpowered and are different levels of the greater hierarchy of reaction speed than again Robert. And again, he's already beyond most different cases like argument for base humans, we're just taking out goons, and mixed argument of levy of being trained guards, reaction speed. So again, it's not too bad for him. When it comes down to him actually as Mecha Man, as a lot of the verse being a little bit more on the grounded mixed tail side, are all mixed argument to being people that would scale from at the lowest end, small building level plus, with not only their baseline capabilities, their case of striking force, different showcasings and outings, engages and calculation shown across the game, different form of feats mixed to be displayed by in-game, depending on how much you really feel about the mixed vagueness and tail of different feats and capabilities that can be had within the dispatching or by just different showcases of the game. And as well, the fact that at the end of the day, a lot of these people will capabilities and their powers or other stuff along those lines that would show that they could do that. There's also the fact that there are people that do scale to a low-end mixed bag scalable or somewhat suppressed version of Mecha Man in his technical V1 suit model, aka the third Mecha Man suit model in the case of Robert at the start of the game, with his astral pulse and everything working in decent, very strong condition. These people being like Flambe, being Toxic, and others that have actually duked out with Mecha Man and so forth, and other people that should be able to scale to this. There's also bare minimum building level, like be able to hurt different parts of Shroud's body, teleport with Benevola, other scaling outings, what has been produced by different calculation and destruction. There's as well the fact that just a lot more higher tiers would scale to those different margins, different contribution. And there's easily an argument by how the fact that narratively, Mecha Man is always seen as top dog and greater standing, as he is a person who failed. Flambe, a guy that has always seen a higher standing, has narrative and tale to be said, to be stronger and more capable than the rest of the case of not only Team Z, but as well as versatility in all different sites to be had, is easily way stronger. There's also the fact that even though we could say that Mecha Man's suit and what he can produce is more in a lower tier than what his full suit can be taken of damage of, aka he has a little bit of glass cannon operation or mixed bag possible distribution of damage. The fact is that Mecha Man within his Mecha Man suit could actually take in full damage without actually being destroyed, besides the mixed argument for the insides and a bunch of context coming to the point within him being weakened by being jumped by the Red Ring. with him being able to take a small town level explosion at the start of the game and showing the greater impact from a comic that would demonstrate a type of explosion yield that would be taken from possibly low end form of maybe stretch atomic bombs if you want to talk about actual destructive field. And so without all the context for jumping, there's an argument that in full-fledged course durability, that Mecha Man is easily a small town level case of invulnerable person, but dishes out bare minimum a lot of the time greater in that building level to building plus level case of destructive stand and capacity most of the time. And again, because I haven't seen in comparison to all the rest of the Z team and a lot of other people, right, of general base qualities, this would make him pretty consistent with this. And this would only be in the case of the third model, aka the V1. With V2, he should be upgraded to a greater extent, a way more powerful, greater sense of astral pulse and standing, way more capable, better capabilities, better scaling to Shroud, someone who's also been able to showcase very great feats in comparison, an immaculate level standing on the ground, other capacity, who again should be easily scaling to those same margins. And so there's a level of argument that not only with the V1 could he be scaling to greater means of mixed small town level, which you could just be, scaling from default small town level plus, but with the V2 could be scaling to a higher margin, especially if you think going off of actual feats, using the narrative, and the fact that Mecha Man's legacy is very high end, and as the case of the Mecha Man V2, will be scaling and distributing power pool and capabilities of a lot more higher instance, right? Should easily be arguably one of, if not possibly besides Chase with the Amulet Blonde Blazer, easily the strongest member of Team Z in all accounting, depending on how you perceive it. When it comes down to the case of his capabilities and hacks, he has energy blades of all different type, be it your case of, wrist blades, be a different form of weaponry that involves a case of saws, different pulse blades, has a capability to make a He-Man sword, has energy fields, different form of volley of missiles, has a case of a grappling hook or some form of basically scooter, can power his body with electricity or some form of mega Gekka, built different go-to-level surge and energy. He's obviously able to fly, burst off different form of heat and energy, has different hacking and skills. The ingenious of Robber with his experience as well helps him to be unstoppable, pretty much Titan of all different force, which is ironic with the person that he's fighting. And obviously can iconically call different boost flares of different weapons in a certain capacity, is able to stand the Shroud, is able to rock out either Coop or Sonar, in a showcase within the first case of his mech, that in comparison to the second, that he is truly, undeniably so, a Mecha Man. But with everything stacked all together, involving not only the case of Mecha Man, but of course BT, aka Pareto Tango, the fact of the matter is that this battle really comes down to big two varying mixed disparities. I already made it clear before that someone like Mecha Man should have durability way outlasting any possible comprehensible or maybe even withstandable stand for this man, BT, to even possibly be able to push beyond. As in truth, no matter what Mecha Man more consistently dishes out, his type of case of not only record of explosive yield and actual buck for buck, stand for stand level capacity in comparison is a lot more consistent to be again from that small building plus to greater M building plus level stand. Someone like BT is about those levels to greater buildup of the case of not only his alts or any form of great colossal build and force, to where with his superior speed and mix as well hacks and capabilities along those lines, and being a lot more versatile and being able to change his equipment on the fly for use gameplay, and the combination of not only a ridiculous duo in BT and Cooper. There's every argument given for the fact that as the fight prolongs, this man, Jack Cooper, will figure out how to get around Mecha Man's way superior mixed bag durability at face value, outlast him. BT's not only incredibly smart, tactically aware, and strategically built different, relentless, and adaptive force, being able to collide like no other and being the ultimate supreme Titan, should build a best Mecha Man. Tight as well, he has a few greater advantages beyond not just speed and versatility. He is way more bigger, his experience is there, and he easily is way more of a contender with his more greater variety of opposition in different occasions in a fight. to reasonably proclaim that he should be beyond any comprehension of Mecha Man. And the only way Mecha Man could possibly stand a little bit over is if you think, because again, he's more and greater mixed age of the building plus, while BT, even though it's confidently, you could argue, building level, has to either build up to building level plus or build up the actual greater destructive capacity pit to pit to absolutely really nail it on the head to destroy someone like Mecha Man, would all around outlast and beat him and would wear him down with his superior speed, hacks, and eventually pull out his ult, or possibly just do it as soon as he feels like it's necessary, with this man Mecha Man being an annoyance, would fully not only tear through his armor and going off of, the whole Newton's law and the build of, Mecha Man's suit in tandem with, the human body of Mecha Man, he would be taking too much overriding force all around, piling on top of him. It would entirely devastate entirely the entire skeleton form of fundamental hide of the Mecha Man suit that Robert could never withstand the calamity. It would get knocked out, beaten inside out, and externally bleeding, basically, in the sense of his body with the suit, and or reasonably so, in the sort of kind of way faster build up of pretty much critical destruction build up to eventual case of the small town explosion, leave Robert entirely gassed, deconstructed from the inside, and drilled so heavy he gets put in the dirt and gets laid out to the point where not only BT can entirely rip his entire body to shreds and break him down from there, or there could be some sort of hacking used by Jack Cooper to get inside Mecha Man and just body him. The only way Mecha Man would have a real chance is equal stats. If we equal the speed, that's when the fight gets a little bit more contentious. I do see a lot of arguments how BT could outdo him as he's faced people in the same not only argument of not only AP arguably as this man Robert, people with similar capabilities, has fought way in the long-lasting stance. Him with Jack Cooper is way more efficient and capable. If Jack Cooper ever possibly got this man phenomenal, mix up on really full read and really started getting a lot more advantageous with his fighting style, aka getting way more dabble of really how Mecha Man fights, and really getting to the point where when they fight, it's pretty much him playing elite checkers while Mecha Man is always catching up. He'll entirely surgically out-read Mecha Man, out-duke him, shoot him up, drill him, and in the mix with this man Mecha Man's, yes, very capable, versatility, impact of force, and being a very built different sense of, but even if this man is not only a literal titan in comparison size, which doesn't really entirely matter, but in this scenario would have a lot of just physical overarching advantages over him. And even if you want to argue that a lot of different core hits from this man, Mecha Man could do BT in. BT has every level from his speed and other forms mixed with the combination of Jack Cooper, who physically should outdo Robert. If they ever got into a hand-to-hand encounter, Robert would get literally smothered, turned into Sloppy Joe by this dude, get eaten alive. This is literally a lamb to a tiger. The fact is that BT has a lot of different hacks, his ult, and a lot of advantages to push past him. There's also even the fact that BT just being consistent and not giving him some wank that is taken from the mix of measurement that he mixed maybe possibly survive in physical body, which is not even reasonable to say. His data most likely is alive. We're not getting a Timefall 3, so we'll never entirely know, but saying that he survived any core gritter of this explosion or the greater explosive impact is absolute wank, cope, yap, bullshit beyond compare. The fact is that BT, regardless of equal to speed, and leave their mixed kind of weird age of AP, I think Mecha Man will give him a great fight, but BT's experience, his versatility, his catalog of shit, his crazy movement, their teamwork, and a lot of advantages to possibly say when they really get down and dirty, they can dish out as much damage as is needed to knock Robert off his feet, disable him, entirely disorientate him, knock him out, or proceed to actually pressure him so much that Robert would inevitably die from the overly, just dabble in so much destructive lure of greater impact percentage and different, boasts of an actual fight, to where his morale and his reason to even fight would be pretty much destroyed. I mean, again, the yield for every essence of the fight would be way too high. And again, his entire standing to him and pretty much, your real damage, necessity to take and or dish out would be pretty much made, lousy. And I, again, just don't really see any way Mecha Man could actually try to beat him. And even with all his versatility or capabilities, this man BT has a counter for it, has, again, the experience for it, has a lot of ways to get around it. And I believe, just all around conclusion, that BT, even with some of these different wacky things that this man, Mecha Man can bring, I do believe all around he's just contended way more versatilely. And, Jack has a lot of anti-Titan weapons that he could use against Mecha Man. There's also hacking. If he got on his, back, got around him, which wouldn't be the best, tactical decision. And I believe that Jack Cooper is way too smart, way too versatile, ambitious as a fighter sense, right? To where he would dabble in every different loophole to get around him and defeat him. Plus, if you really think that Mecha Man can really put the biggest pressure on BT, self-destruction or some form of final impact setup to possibly kill him after multiple times pressuring him, very much reliably so, in the fight, would give him every capability to win and outdo him. And I also just feel like there's a lot of ways BT could possibly get, even nearly destroyed by, again, the face value impact. Still keep going, give Jack the time to recuperate, and get on Mecha Man more times than not. So again, in conclusion, I believe BT is the winner in the all-around grand scope. Like I said, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I really appreciate y'all for watching. If you're new, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, where the case may be. I appreciate y'all for watching. Like I said, as always, hit the bell icon down below so you're notified every time I make a video. Let me know what more versus battles you want. I'm going to tap into some more dispatch scaling and conversations. With that being said, let me know if you guys want me to talk more about Titanfall, other versus, play more games, and do some greater detail for more research. I feel like I was pretty accurate and concrete with this one. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, mommy. Love y'all.
You have your money, Blisk. Now go. My forces will take over from here.
About time they do something.
I think our militia pilot's trying to be a hero. He's all yours. Keep the salvage.
Who said anything about salvage? I'll do this one for free.